Ah, well, that was a nice 60-minute nap I just took. Did I miss anything in that hockey game, Blake?
Yes, you missed a whole lot of sucking. That's what you missed.
Great. Sounds super fun.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm glad the Devils got into the Halloween spirit by, dressing up as the early 2010s LA Kings. That was
It wasn't like that though. The Avs just didn't do anything.
it was I can agree. I think both things are true. I have a take here, and it's you know before last year, and I mean, it wasn't like as big of a problem as a lot of people made it out to be, but the Avs did struggle against some of these teams that were a little bit slow it down, grime it up in the neutral zone, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And last year they didn't. There was never really a problem. They just kind of didn't care.
I mean, hits were only 17-11. So.
It wasn't. It's not. It wasn't much about the hitting. It's just like I don't know. They were just kind of guys everywhere. I don't know. It was very. It was very. It just felt like super slow. I don't know. I really, to be honest, in the grand scheme of things, I don't even know what to take away from this hockey game, and just outside of the fact that like,
I do.
what are your big takeaways here?
You need some offense, man.
Yeah,
They're not. This isn't gonna cut it. Just this roster, the forward roster. It's just not gonna cut it. You've got guy after guy after guy playing in over their heads. And I get Val's out, but even when he's in the lineup,
well,
just
but Val and Gabriel.
everybody's everybody's playing. Gabe's 2 months out, 3 months out. So this is just gonna be life for the
Right.
next 2 to 3 months. So you you need offense. Um,
Yeah, Alex Newhook needs to start doing something offensively.
I I'm gonna wait till the 10 game mark to to have an extreme opinion on him, but you know, 2 games away. So
Yeah, I don't have an extreme opinion. I mean, it feels like he's defaulting too much. There was a point when the second period where they were entering the zone and his eyes did not leave. He was looking side to side the whole time. Didn't even take a glance at the net. He just did not even think about shooting the puck.
I don't I don't even care what he looks like at this point. 0 points in 8 games, bro.
Yeah, that's
What the fuck, man? What the fuck? 0 points in 8 games. No
he
wonder
needs to
Jared
figure it
Bednar
out.
feels the need to play Nathan McKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, and Arturi Lehkonen 25 minutes a game.
Yeah,
Zero fucking points.
he
Do
needs
something, dude.
this road trip. But he needs to get at least a point, if not more.
It's not even close. He's got to start somewhere. Sure. He's got to start somewhere. And it's got to happen soon. Or else man, they're not going to win a ton of games. Just not. It reminds me a lot of the 17-18 Avs, the forward core. The defense is obviously miles better than that, which is why I think that this roster as constructed is an 105 point team. But the forward core reminds me of the 2017-18 group where it was your top guys, you have your top line, and then a whole bunch of nobodies
I
basically filling out the roster. I
I
mean, Carl Soderberg's your 2C.
yeah.
Like,
I would say it's like a plussed up version of that team because
I don't even think so, man. Carl
yeah, well,
Soderberg
because
had
that
50,
team,
51 points that year.
You had Gabriel Bork on your fourth line and
You
Sven
have Dryden Hunt
Andergano.
on your fourth line this year, dude. Like,
Well, Dryden Hunt's way better than Gabriel Bork
I
ever
don't know
was.
about that, man. Dryden Hunt's not doing anything.
He's been
But
hitting. He's doing fourth line things. I don't I mean, and you can't just ignore the Darren Helm and Gabe Landeskog injuries.
I mean, we don't know about Helm, but obviously, like the Landeskog thing for 2 to 3 months here,
Yeah.
it's a real thing. You can't just discard the Landeskog injury,
Right. But you
and
also
be
can't,
like,
be like, well, this team has nothing going for it. They're not going to be stuck
it
with it
does
like
have nothing going. And they are stuck in the mud at 5v5. They just are. They are.
I mean, yeah, but it's 7 games in. It's 8 games in. This is why I don't think this game means anything. This team clearly from the start of the puck drop was like, let's just try and get through this as easily as possible so we're not tired tomorrow.
No, I just don't think they're capable of generating offense at 5v5 anymore.
I don't know.
So far.
I think you're overreacting.
It'll get better, but they're not doing anything.
Well, yeah, but you got to think. Look, Alex Newhook has no points, and maybe that there's a. But I mean, he was better last year as a third line player. You feel like that production's going to come eventually. One of Cale Makar or Devontae is going to score a goal at some point. JT Compher's eventually going to score a goal, and he's going to get hot. I think it's just been a slow start after a short off season.
I actually liked the defense tonight, but
yeah, I thought the defense was pretty good.
1.4 expected goals at 5v5, 5 high danger chances. Last game against New York, 2.56. So that's average, an average game. Maybe a tick above average. Game before, 1.35 on 6 high danger chances. Game before, 1.7. Game before that, you had 2 good games against the Jets and the Wild, 2.42, 2.57. And then the first 2 games, 1.13 and 1.54. They're just not generating any offense at 5v5. The best they've done so far in a game is league average. It's concerning, man. It just is. We're 8 games into this.
It's not, though. The 8 games, like 10% of the season.
8 games with not one above average offensive performance.
I mean, so what? You know what? Do you know how bad the Lightning have been to start the seasons? You know how bad they were in 2019, 2020? You know how bad they were?
I can take a look at them. I mean, I'm not concerned for like the record at the end of the year. Like, I'm sure they'll figure it out. But until they get some reinforcements, like it's just going to be shitty for a little bit. And I think it's important
to remember the Devils and the Kraken, when have they ever played a game this good defensively?
Dude, I don't think the Devils did anything tonight, man. Like they played with speed.
They were disrupting pucks.
They played with speed. They disrupted pucks. They played hockey. They played the correct way. But still, like, I just wasn't that impressed.
I just don't think the Avs had their hearts fully in it. I mean, you saw with 3 minutes left, Bowen Barham sits behind the net for like 30 seconds when they're losing by a goal.
Gerard, but yeah.
Well, no, that was
Byron. That was right before. Yeah.
Yeah, that was when they scored.
So Tampa Bay's average game is about 2.3 expected goals, 5v5 this year. I don't know, man.
I just don't think it really matters.
I mean, it sucks, man. Right now, I tweeted out after the game. There's going to be a lot until you get some reinforcements, until they make a trade or they get Landeskog back. It's going to be a lot of this 3-2, 2-1, 1-0, boring garbage. Which it's fine when you win these games, but when you don't, it really just feels bad, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's enough guys that haven't fully played to the level they can. So that's where I'm just not concerned. I just feel like these guys are going to get going.
Like who?
Like Newhook. Like Comfort.
I think Cale will. I think Newhook will.
Even Taves hasn't been.
Taves is par for his career.
Yeah, I mean, but just offensively, I feel like he hasn't been quite as he's been more defensively oriented.
He's been fine. It's the least of my complaints.
No, I don't have a problem with the way he's played offensively. I just think that you expect that he might bump up that level of production just a little bit. More of the impact way of things. I guess I would say.
It just sucks right now. Like. They're just not generating anything.
I mean,
There's not.
I don't know if you could like really look at that game and tell me this team. I mean, it's hard. We sit here and we say, well, I know Newhook's out. Those are 2 top 6 forwards on your team that are out.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Well,
big
one's for
deal.
2 to 3 months, so you got to plan. They should have planned for that.
Well, and they did, but I think they were doing fine with Newhook in the lineup.
Still, they just weren't generating a ton. They just weren't.
But I'm gonna just keep saying this. Take games in. We can't say
Totally.
they weren't
No, I
planning
know,
for
but
it.
they haven't played an above average offensive game one time this year, once.
I think
So I'm just getting
that's
frustrated.
subjective. I think that's.
Oh, dude, it's not. The numbers suggest.
But the numbers
prove my point.
I don't know. I feel like the game against the Rangers was pretty above average offensive.
It was exactly average.
In what way? Because the expected goals, which is a flawed stat.
It was 51 to 51 in terms of Corsi, which is about an average game for the Avs, about 50.
But that's the problem. Well, so what? Look at the teams they've been playing. Also, it's not like they're playing schmucks.
You've got 24 scoring chances, 9 high danger chances, average.
But that's the thing. You look at these numbers, but guess what? There's another team on the other side.
Oh yeah,
they put up 40 shots in that game. That's not something a bad offensive team does.
Well, yeah. I mean, 40 shots, whatever. If they're not dangerous, they're not going in.
Okay, but there were enough dangerous chances in that game that I feel like you could think of. How many times were people going nuts because Shesterkin robbed somebody?
24 scoring chances, 9 high danger chances. It's an average output.
I don't know. I feel like you're relying on the analytics too much and just not using your.
I mean, this isn't even analytics. This is just basic counting.
Yeah,
scoring chances and high danger chances.
God, I just feel like those things are just. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's only so much context. Like, how many of Kale's goals do you think were actually like considered high danger chances?
That's true, and that's kind of part of why the Avs finished at such a high clip last year. But you're seeing them not go in to start the year. Like,
right.
Those kinds of shots, obviously Kale's a special player, and he'll probably get 15 to 20 goals this year, but the 28 last year, it's so hard. This is why it's so hard for defensemen to score all these goals, because goalies are so good nowadays. And those shots from the point, man, it just gets harder and harder to score on them. It just does.
He almost scored on one today.
Hit the crossbar. You knew right away. Oh, it's going to be one of those nights.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I did like this game. I just don't know how much there is to talk about it. I mean, I think everything was just kind of like, I don't know, it's just one of those games that just kind of happened that like by the end of the year, we're all going to forget about this game ever happening. We're going to be like, hey, remember that one game? Like it's going to be something they use on the stats on like, you'll see it on TV. They'll be like, okay, well, this is when the Avs were shut out once. And that's all anybody will remember from this game.
They just wasn't any good, man. I think there are some things you can take from the game though. Like the defense played well.
Yeah, the defense played well. I thought
they kept New Jersey to the outside. There wasn't a ton of dangerous stuff from New Jersey. It says in Natural Stat Trick that they had 13 high danger chances. I don't remember 13 of those. The number seems skewed because tonight, 21 scoring chances and 13 high danger chances, only producing 1.74 expected goals. Just seems fishy. But
yeah, I can't really.
I'm not gonna believe that.
That's why it's a bad stat. But yeah, so
I think expected goals is a good stat. I just don't think when it doesn't match up with the scoring chances and the high danger chances, it's just tough to take anything from those, all of them combined. So
I mean, I liked Nathan MacKinnon's game. I thought he had a lot of energy. I thought there were some times where
Yeah,
he did
I
some
thought the
good stuff.
energy was good. I thought the IQ, the brain was a little bit flipped off
Yeah,
at some points.
he went a little bit more mad Miko than like Mad Nate. You know, he was
Yeah,
angry and he was going, but he just wasn't being smart. I thought Kale was good.
Kale was really good tonight.
I mean, everybody
Um,
on the defense I thought was pretty good.
yeah, minus like Manson. I thought he had a rough night.
I thought he was fine. I thought he was good
It was a
defensively.
little rough.
Fine. I thought he
It
was
was a
just
little rough. Eric Johnson,
average.
better game for him.
Yeah, he had some good plays. There was a play in the third period where he like tried to like he was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna skate past everybody," and he got past no one, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, something interesting. So that's weird. Miko Rantanen 9 Corsi for 23 against. Nathan McKinnon 15 for 20 against. So they did a little bit of not playing together tonight.
Yeah,
So I guess that benefited Nate a little more than Miko.
yeah. So the lines pretty much halfway through the second all just got. It was just you very rarely saw the same line out. Like Jacob McDonald just stopped playing hockey after the first period. I didn't see him once.
Yeah. I blame Jared Bednar partly for how this is kind of turning out so far. You gotta stop playing JT Con for 20 minutes, man.
Yeah, on a night. Well, I mean, he hasn't been playing him very much, but he was at a
2016.
Comfer was probably one of their more dangerous forwards tonight.
I thought he was good tonight, but even in a good game for him, he just like barely broke even.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why he played him a little bit more. I mean, given what Alex Newhook gave out tonight and what
Alex Newhook 13-13. That was his
that's
ice
great,
time.
but he was non-existent on the ice in most chances.
Yeah, he's a total ghost right now. It's not acceptable, but also he's not being given the reign. We cannot judge him as a 2C because he is not being given the 2C job. He's just not.
I understand you think he should be thrown to the wolves. I think he has to earn it a little bit. Like he has to have 1 point. The longer he goes,
I think I think putting him in a bottom 6 role like he's playing right now is destroying his confidence. Destroying it's bottom 6, man. 13 is a third line player. But
it's also 13 minutes.
Putting him
also remember
playing him 13
played
minutes
power play as well.
Dude,
there were 6 power plays.
That means he's playing less at 5v5, which sucks.
Was it 13 total or was it 13 5v5?
13 all situations. Power play, he played 224. So yeah. But 1049 at 5v5. But what I'm getting at here is playing him in a bottom 6 role versus throwing him to the Wolves at 2C. Like, okay, you want to lose 1-0 with JT Compher as your center or as your 2C, or you want to lose 1-0 with Alex Newhook as your 2C? Doesn't make a difference, man. It just doesn't. And who knows? Maybe by now he starts getting used to it 8 games in, and he starts looking good as a 2C, and he's, scoring goals, putting up points. That's just not the world we live in, and we won't know until he starts playing 2C minutes. JT Compher's not the solution, man. He's just not. So
he needs to do anything. I understand what you're saying. Maybe it's just
I already said I agreed with you.
Yeah, but I know. I'm just saying, like, I understand where you're coming from with the like his confidence thing, but also like if this is what hurts his confidence, then he needs to figure it out somewhere mentally. Because that's not acceptable. Playing like third line minutes on a cup contending team as a second year player in the league, destroying your confidence. That's just like you need to step back for a minute and kind of sink in a little bit.
It's just with some of these guys, it's like they can do no wrong, right? Like JT Compher gets shit on night in and night out when he plays 2C, and he's going to continue to get those minutes. Nothing's going to change, even though he's not doing anything to earn it. Like I said, I thought he was good tonight, for his standards, still wasn't that good. For an average NHL 2C. And I didn't think Alex Newhook was any good either. So like, you've got a problem here. You've got a big problem. Like, one player, I'm talking about Val Nichushkin, should not be this important to your team in order to win a hockey game. Like, the depth, the second line Newhook's line, which Val is usually on his wing, doesn't look any good without him, and it's just worrisome. So hopefully, I don't know, probably won't get him back tomorrow.
Yeah, I have a feeling they'll just let him rest until they get to Finland.
Yeah.
You have you have like 5 days off. So.
Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised to see McDermott tomorrow in for McDonald.
Yeah, I don't know if he got hurt or if they just didn't play him.
He played 3 minutes and 21 seconds. So
yeah, I don't know if he got hurt though. I don't know what happened there.
I thought I saw him on the bench, so I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't think it was very good. To be completely honest, I thought he was kind of all over the place, and it's like the thing is McDermott plays like that, but at least he like hits things,
Dude, I didn't think McDonald was that bad.
Dude,
it was just nothing.
Anything. Yeah,
he didn't hurt you. He didn't help you. So,
but that's the thing. McDermott does that, but at least he hits guys. That's like anything. You're getting something out of that guy.
Does actively hurt you though.
Not as a forward.
Less as a forward, but still.
He doesn't hurt you as a forward. I can't. No one has yet to show me a play where McDermott was a forward that actively ended in a goal against the Avs.
You just got to watch him, man. Put your eyes on him when he's on the ice.
I do. Like,
you'll
very few things happen.
You'll see pretty quick. But
I don't think I just think he's a fine forward, and if Jacob McDonald's going to come in here and do nothing, then just play McDermott.
The 12th forward is not my concern as far as the roster goes, but it's the middle six that's concerning. Boy, if there's one thing you could switch from the offseason, what would you switch right now in terms of signings?
I don't really know. I don't really have any problem with what they did in the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
They did what they could.
I think personally, I wouldn't have done it any differently, but I can see some of these fans starting to get really frustrated with the lack of scoring depth. So I would say maybe you switch the Manson deal for an Andre Burakovsky 5x5.5.
That
just a thought.
If you were to do so, if you were to change something, that's what it would be. I just don't know. I mean, the thing is that that only, I don't know how much that truly changes things, because the thing is then
he's not a center.
Who's your 6D?
Right.
And
right. I think you just sign a guy. But I think you sign a guy, have Gerard play the right side with Byram on his left, and then you sign a guy.
Yeah, that's the only problem with the Manson contract, is that now you're paying $5 million for a third line defenseman.
Right. And then, having an Andre Burakovsky would fill your lineup out so that you don't have so many of these guys playing in over their head. I mean, Arturi Lekkonen's not a first line player.
Yeah.
Evan Rodriguez, the more I watch him, the more I'm like, third liner. I think he can be a second liner, but not quite there yet.
I think
not good enough.
I'm just gonna self-plug here. I wrote an article, and I think you're gonna see you need to get Newhook going, and then once Newhook gets going, I mean, Rodriguez has kind of already found his stride a little bit here. Once he gets going, you're gonna those two are really going to be able to feed off each other well, because we saw it in flashes in that Seattle game, and then Newhook just went back to doing nothing.
Yeah.
But then Erod just kept on going.
Erod looked good with McKinnon tonight. So
Yeah, who would have predicted that, huh?
I really, this is just gonna suck for a little bit in terms of the offense, the offensive generation. I think it's just gonna.
I think I'm not going to read anything into it too much until they get back from Finland, and then if this really continues, then yeah. I do want to just we haven't really talked much about this game. I mean, there, like I said, I don't know how much there really is to talk about in terms of this game. It was pretty much the same thing for 60 minutes.
Yeah, I do want to bring it up, dude. What the hell is wrong with the linesman tonight?
Yeah, this was like really bad for both teams. They were just calling offsides when there wasn't. They were missing offsides when there wasn't. Icing was a real big problem for them in the first period.
Dude, and it went both ways. Yeah, it was like the Devils clearly iced the puck, and then they were like, "What? We didn't ice it. We got there first." And then the linesmen were like, "Okay, yeah, you did. Face off at center ice." And then the Avs did the same thing. We're like, "What? We beat it out." And they were like, "No, you didn't." And it was an icing. It's like
the first one was weird because like the guy totally like mugged Bowen Byram, and I was like, just let it be an icing, just so you like, like for the sake of not calling a penalty there, but also that's.
And then, dude, Miles Wood is like a country mile offside on his goal.
Oh yeah, I saw it immediately. I was like, oh,
it's not even fucking close. Like, how do you not catch that the first time?
I've never seen a review go so fast.
It's not even fucking close, dude. He's like 3 feet offsides.
Did they just like look at the towel and be like, oh shit, we missed that really bad. We're kind of bad.
Guess, man. And then it happened later with Miles Wood where he like totally kept the puck in.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, that's offsides.
And then there was the other one where Erod totally kept the puck in, and it could have been like a great chance for the Avs.
Yeah, and they blew the whistle like 5 seconds after the Avs touched it. It was like, okay.
It was super weird.
Just par for the course for this game. Yeah.
There was an offsides in the third period where where the Devils put the puck back in. They didn't touch it, but they immediately blew it down as offsides. And I was like, what?
Like, but that's not offsides if the Devils put it in. It's just the linesman just forgot all the rules.
Yeah,
that's
you could tell it wasn't going to be great because someone was wearing 95, and usually the higher numbers are like they're the noobs, they're the guys who like just got called up or
not number 71. Number 71 just linesmaned his 1,000th game. Yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, I forget his name, but shout out
for him, man. Probably shouldn't have partied so hard before the game.
71 didn't linesman today, but last night was 2 nights ago.
I was confused.
Just a high number, not a rookie.
All right, I got you now. Yeah, okay. I mean, we could talk about. I mean, I didn't think the Avs power play was very passive.
Wasn't any good.
Yeah, it was not their greatest. I mean, they were moving the puck well. They just couldn't get shots through. That was kind of the thing the entire night. The Devils were blocking everything.
Kale,
if it wasn't the Devils, right? it was the Avs.
Yeah, it felt like it, right? Only 17 blocks, which is like a little higher than normal, but not like a ton like we saw the other game with Vegas where they had like 30.
Right.
But yeah, it was frustrating. And dude, Kale, can you get a fucking shot through? How about? They go in when you get them through.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I can't think of a single time where an Av defenseman got a shot through besides that one weird one from Josh Manson that kind of trickled along the ice.
Yeah. It was tough, man.
Yeah.
Also, they gotta stop with this 3 defenseman thing on the second unit. Like, just take Girard off of that. Just have Girard play a shit ton of 5v5.
With Nichushkin out, I'm fine with it for now, but I can see where I like a comfort. I mean, he scores on the power play, so like, got to utilize him a little bit, So I'd be fine taking one of the defensemen off.
It's just funny, like.
But then what's ESPN going to talk about for 30 minutes tonight when the Avs play?
It's just funny, whenever Girard gets the puck on his little half wall, he does like a little lap. He skates all the way down, and he's like, "Oh, I have nothing to pass it through." and he gives it right back to Taves. And then Taves
Yeah,
goes
that
over to
was
Byram, and Byram stands there for 10 seconds with the puck.
yeah.
Doesn't know what to do. Okay, I guess I'll give it back to Taves. It's really ugly.
Yeah, that one runs too strict of an umbrella. So it's like when like those guys don't have an outlet in the corner, both guys are just in front of the net.
Yeah.
That was where I was really upset with Newhook tonight, where Gerard finally got one of those passes through on the bumper, and Newhook just wasn't ready for it. And I was like, ah, it's the one thing you do on this power play.
I'd be curious to see what Jared Bednar's saying. Because, man, if I was a hockey coach, that would be just about the most frustrating game I could watch my team play. I feel like I know their numbers look good at the end of every night in terms of possession, but does it ever feel like the top guys are kind of cheating the game a little bit too?
What do you mean?
Like, instead of, going to the corners, retrieving the puck, getting it back to the point, they kind of just try to like take it in, make a fancy play, and if it doesn't work, it's a turnover. It just seems to me like it's just a little too cute sometimes, and it's kind of lazy as well.
I can see that. Okay,
I see it.
well,
I see it like
Miko,
5 to 10 times a game from Mac. See it a few times less so for Miko. I think Miko, he did that. What I'm talking about. Remember that one little play he did at the top of the
yeah, that little
zone?
tip thing he did.
Yeah, it's like catch a pass, get it deep, and go to work,
Yeah,
man. Like,
they alluded to it on the broadcast. He made his mind up on that,
mhm,
but whoever passed it to him didn't give him the amount of power he wanted on it.
mhm. Yeah,
And he didn't adjust. So yeah, that was I
it
mean,
it's
he
just
didn't say Bednar didn't say much. He said he just kind of talked about Martin Kell, who started on the second line and only played 7 minutes, which is
it's more than he's been getting.
yep. It was weird. He drew a penalty. And then he just kind of didn't play for a long time. And then
I didn't think he was great when he was even playing, man. That guy just has this magic ability. You don't notice a goddamn thing he does the entire game. Like, I cannot remember a single thing he did outside of draw a penalty.
yeah, he had that one shot. I mean, he's just the kind of that guy. He just kind of lurks around. He plays his position. He forechecks hard, and you know that's just kind of his thing. I thought Mikhail Malta played a nice game tonight. He played a few shifts up.
He was responsible. Again, not a whole lot going for him offensively.
Yeah, the third line had a few nice shifts where they were cycling the puck at some points. It was just a weird game, man.
Yeah.
The penalty was good until they let in another goal.
Dude, I put the goal on Frankie, man. What the
Yeah,
hell?
so that goal, I have a hard time with it because I don't remember who was in front of him, but his ass was squarely planted right in Frankie's face, and it's like,
Uh-huh.
and I'm so part of me is kind of like that, but it's also not a strong shot. I feel like one of Comfer or Manson needs to be covering that a little bit better.
Again, this goes back to systems. That guy's left uncovered on purpose.
Yeah. Jack Hughes is that guy.
They're like, we're gonna give this guy the screen so we can try to go block this shot from Hughes, and it's not a special shot at all. It's like a 65-mile-an-hour wrister, and it just goes in.
Yeah,
Low.
that was something we saw a lot more with Nathan McKinnon before. You know, he would do that sometimes. So Gabe Landeskog would just stand right in front of a guy, and he'd just be like, "All right, well, he can't see it. I'm just going to shoot it where he can't."
Right. Like, you can see that. Like, that goes in sometimes, but it's a frustrating one in a 1-0 game for that soft shit to go in.
Yeah, and I didn't think Frankie had much of a challenge earlier in the game. He made some nice saves, but I don't know.
He was good, but it just feels
bad. I thought
that's the one that went in.
Both goalies were pretty good. They just neither of them were really like this wasn't like the Rangers game, you know. They weren't standing on their head. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then the Avs, tried to push back and didn't really work.
No. That comeback thing that they had last year, haven't really seen it yet.
Yeah,
At
I
all.
mean, they
At
were
all.
trailing. I mean, they lost obviously in overtime to Winnipeg. It was tied against Seattle, and then Seattle scored with like 5 minutes left. I mean, they really, outside of that Calgary game where they pushed back a little bit, I mean, they haven't been trailing entering the third. I mean, they tied it up against Seattle actually in the third after they were trailing.
They
And then
gave
they
it right
let it.
away.
Yeah.
I'm just like the magic of winning those games hadn't shown up yet.
Yeah.
So,
but that also was the case for the first part of last year too.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I mean, disappointing player. I don't really know. It just wasn't a great night from a lot of guys.
I don't like Josh Manson tonight. Mentioned it earlier. Only played, I think it was only like 12 minutes. Yeah, 12-21 for Josh Manson. Good. I didn't like him.
Yeah.
So I'll go with that.
I think Newhook. I think part of it is just because I'm just waiting for him to do something. Like he's got to get on the score sheet.
It's like that.
It's
like that meme with the dude with the stick poking it. Do something.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
It's
But maybe that's what Jared should do. He should just like bring a stick on the bench. Just start
poke him.
Alex.
Do something, Alex.
Do something. Or he's busy. Have like one of the equipment managers do that.
Send Alex Newhook to the AHL. Just kidding. They're not going to do
that. We can do 3 stars. I don't really know how much, it's gonna be.
Let me think here. I'll go.
Yeah.
I'm seriously drawing a blank. I thought. I guess I'll give Frankie the 3. I mean,
that's fair. I mean, only one goal
fine.
against.
It was a soft goal, but he was good. Other than that, 2. I guess I'll go. Man, this is tough. Okay, I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna go Confer 3, Frankie 2, Kale first.
Okay. Personally, I go Cogliano 3rd, Devo 2nd, and then Kale 1st. Honorable mention to JT.
Who was 2nd?
Devontae's. I call him Devo.
Yeah, I thought he had some issues with the puck, a little bit. Like he would make a pass and it would get.
I felt like that was actually something that I was like, really, it was weird tonight. They just like they were just a touch off on a lot of passes. Something that I was really frustrated with about is that just like every loose puck went to the Devils tonight. It was so.
Well, yeah, that kind of goes back to my point of cheating the game.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's making the fancy play with the goal of not wanting to do the work.
I think that was less of that and more of the fact that I noticed this. The Devils, when Nathan McKinnon, especially as had the puck, there were 3 guys around him. So like they're supporting each other like really hard on that puck because they're like, look, we're getting this puck and we're getting possession of it. We're not giving them the chance and hope and making sure we're in the right position if they get the puck. We're just going to get this puck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the problem with that is the Devils did that a lot where they would overcommit and the Avs did not take advantage of it at all.
Yeah, that was
because that leaves guys open all around the ice and the Avs didn't use it any of.
Yeah, the Avs passing was not great tonight.
No, it was off.
Yeah,
such a bad game. That was the worst game of the year from a pure watching perspective.
Yeah, if imagine this game was on national TV. My God. Poor people. And then obviously the Avs have the Islanders tomorrow, who beat the Hurricanes 6-2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming this game might start a little bit late because they'll probably be doing something for Josh Bailey, since he did play his 1,000th game today.
Yeah.
But it was in Carolina.
Yeah.
That is something that we didn't think about. I don't know how much of it is, because it's a back-to-back, and obviously the team probably did stuff for him today for his 1,000th, but I don't know how much, maybe the crowd gets some energy from that.
Yeah. I'm not expecting anything tomorrow. I'm just not.
Just
Given
you
how
need
they
to get
played
at least
tonight,
you need to get a point out of this.
I'm not even
out
expecting
of
that.
this.
It's
I'm not expecting it, but I feel like as a team, you just need to get a point out of this back-to-back.
The
But
Avs are a good hockey team, but without Nichushkin, like, he really makes a difference, man. I'm just
you
not
might need
expecting
another
anything.
good Georgiev game.
Yeah, I'm just not expecting anything at all tomorrow.
Need a
Man.
bit of a goalie battle tomorrow again.
Yeah, I mean, I know
Actually,
the
I don't
Avs
know
are
who.
also on. The Avs will play Varley.
They played Sorokin tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, obviously, Farley's still good, but he's not Sorokin.
So, sucks that this one, it just stings, man.
It's pretty lame.
Yeah. When they do stuff and they look okay and they lose, you're like, whatever, be fine.
Right.
But when the process is bad and they also lose, it's just like feels even worse. So
Yeah. Feels bad, man. Yeah, I kind of expect this pretty short talk. We'll be back tomorrow, but hopefully you guys do something to distract yourself with the rest of your night, since this was an early game. You got the whole rest of this Friday night to have some fun. So
go eat some cake.
Go eat some cake. Give kale your power. We need to make cake with kale. Maybe that'll do it.
Mm-mm. That would taste so bad.
I don't care. It's worth it. But yeah, see y'all tomorrow.